Talking to your new followers on Instagram is one of the best ways to get new clients for your business. And today I'm going to show you the single best way to do all of this with AI, fully automated and at scale. Using the new follow to DM feature of ManyChat, we are going to text every single follower as soon as they follow your account. But we are not just going to send them some generic text like everyone else is doing. We'll be going way deeper to get the highest possible reply rate. We are first going to scrape their Instagram account, find out who they are and if they match your ICP. Then we're going to use AI to craft a personalized outreach message to each individual lead and send it out. And we're going to track every single DM inside of the DM tracker to actually see how high our reply rates are and which follow-ups are due. And in this video, I'm going to show you everything that you need to set this up for yourself and have an automated system with the highest possible reply rate when texting new followers on Instagram. I've not seen anyone else on YouTube talk about this strategy, so you are a first mover in this space. And don't worry, as always, I've made it as simple as possible so you can copy my whole system for free. I'll give you my ManyChat template, my N@N template, and all the prompts you need to make this work. I am not a developer, and if I can do it, then you can do it too. Simply watch this video and you will have everything you need. And without wasting any more time, let's get started. The system that I'm going to show you is the exact same system that I am using for weeks already, getting a 52% reply rate on my new follower outreach on Instagram. And it's also the exact same system that our clients like this one are using to send more than 40,000 outreach messages to new followers in just 30 days, fully on autopilot. And to make it as simple as possible, I've created a full document explaining everything, including all the templates, and you can get that document by simply clicking the link in the description. And no, I'm not going to ask you for your email or phone number. It's simply the document, so 100% free value. All the tools we need are free to start, so you can play around with this and see if it has any value for you without paying anything. And now, let's get started. Our goal is to send personalized outreach messages to leads in our target audience to maximize reply rates and conversion rates whenever they start to follow our account on Instagram. We want all of this done on autopilot for new followers of our account. There's 4 things that we will need, but before we dive into what we need and how it works, let me quickly show you how this looks like in real life. To make this flow simple to test, I've also added an additional trigger, which is called a keyword trigger. Whenever I send follow test, it will trigger the same automation so we can test it faster. So now we're going to send the keyword follow test to actually trigger the same workflow that a new follow would trigger as well. And now we have to wait around 40 seconds to see what happens. And as you can see, we have received a very personalized outreach message from the AI system saying, "Hey Serdar, saw you're building an AI sales system for high-ticket service businesses. What's the main challenge you are solving for clients right now? Lead generation or actually closing them?" And what's even more mind-blowing is that I do not have any of these information inside of my personal Instagram account. As you can see here, the only thing my Instagram account says is that I'm the founder of @OmniFusionAI. However, our system is built in a way that it's smart enough to find out that this is our business profile and does a second scrape to scrape that business profile to actually get more information about me and my business. Now that we have seen the example, let me actually show you what the system looks like. The system is quite simple. The only thing we need is one ManyChat automation flow, and that is this one. And I'm going to show you exactly what it does now. As said, the trigger is user follows your account, and I've also created another trigger with the keyword follow test to easily test the system. In the next step, we are checking if the user has the tag AI engaged assigned, because if it does, then it means that our AI system already had a conversation with this lead, and then we do not want to send the new follower outreach message, even though he just followed us. This is something you might not need if you do not have our AI sales system installed. Then we're gonna set a couple user fields which we will need later on. This next step sends the external request to N8N, which scrapes the Instagram profile and creates the personalized outreach message after checking if the lead fits our ICP or not. After we have sent the request, we are waiting for around 40 seconds. And the reason is that external requests inside of ManyChat time out after 10 seconds. So this request is only waiting for 10 seconds to get a response, and after that it will fail. However, as we are scraping one or multiple Instagram accounts and using multiple AI nodes inside of an N8N workflow, this usually takes more than 10 seconds. 10 to 20 seconds is usual. So it would always fail if we have a response mapping inside of this HTTP request. So instead of that, we're simply continuing with the flow, waiting for 40 seconds, and using the API of ManyChat inside of N8N to update the fields, which I'll show you in a minute. After waiting for 40 seconds, we check if the outreach message field has any value. And this outreach message field is getting filled by our API request sent from the N8N workflow that I'm going to show you in a second. If that field is not filled, we give it another 20 seconds just to be sure that the execution didn't take longer than usual, and then continue with the same condition node over here, checking if the outreach message has any value. If the outreach message here or here has any value, we continue with the flow. We set a user field to ICP match yes, because the AI is only going to update the outreach message field if we have an ICP match. If we do not have an ICP match, we also do not need to create a personalized outreach message. So after setting the user field to ICP match yes, we also add a new tag, which is new follower outreach sent, so we can always see who we have sent that outreach message to. And we are using another action to set the new follower outreach 1 to AI personalized message. This is very important if you want to track your outreach messages and your follow-ups and your team's performance inside of the M tracker. This simply means that the new follower outreach that I just sent is going to be named AI personalized message inside of the M tracker. As you can see inside of my DM tracker dashboard, the message is called AI personalized message, and that's the only reason we have that node inside of ManyChat. After also setting this field, we have one more external request, and that's the DM tracker request, because we want to track this exact message for this specific user inside of the M tracker. The M tracker then tells us if the user ever replied back or not. It tracks the outreach reply rate for your message, and if you want to follow up with users that do not reply back to your message, it will also show you all the users that have not replied back to your outreach message in a simple Kanban board. And that's gonna look something like this. Here you will see all the people that have not replied back to your outreach message, so you can go ahead and send them another follow-up to even get a higher reply rate overall. After sending this request to the M tracker to track this message, we are finally sending out the Instagram message with giving ManyChat the variable outreach message as the message to send, because this custom field contains the AI personalized outreach message that we want to send out. This might look complicated right now, but remember, I have all of this for you as a template, so you can simply copy paste everything. I just want you to understand how it roughly works. Also, you will have the ability to customize everything to your needs. So for example, if you still want to send a message to people who are not matching your ICP, you can do so by connecting this node with the outreach message step, or this node with the DM tracker step to track the outreach even to non-ICP users, and then still send the message. And I'll also show you how you can adjust the prompt for the AI to match the ICP check to your business and make it as loose or as strict as you want it to be. You can also skip the ICP check step and just send a personalized message to everyone who follows your account, or you can skip the AI personalized outreach message and simply do an ICP check and send a static message. After you implement this system, it's fully yours and you can do whatever you want. For me, the best way to do it is that I check if the ICP is matched or not, and my rules are very, very strict. And if the ICP is a match, then I send an AI personalized outreach message, because I'm currently getting hundreds of followers every single day on my new Instagram account, and I do not want to open conversations with every single one of them, but only with the most qualified users. And that's basically everything we need inside of ManyChat. Now let's go to N8N and see the workflow that is actually making all of this possible. The workflow that we're talking about is this workflow over here. Everything else can be ignored, so we are only focusing on this single workflow. And I also opened the execution that we have just seen live on my account. And as you can see, this workflow is to scrape details, check the ICP, craft personalized outreach message, and then add all the details to ManyChat. Again, this might look complex, but it's really not, after I'll tell you what it does. So this webhook is basically receiving the information from N8N, which user has just followed our account. In the next node, we are using the Data Prism scraper to scrape Instagram profiles using an API. You can use any other scraper if you have any. However, in our opinion, this is one of the best and cheapest solutions out there in the market, and we also have a special deal for everyone in our community, which I'll explain you a bit later. After receiving the webhook request from ManyChat, the next node is our scraping node, and we are using Data Prism Scraper for this. Inside of this node, we're going to scrape the user that has just followed us to find out what they have in their bio, how many followers they have, and we're also going to scrape their recent last 3 post captions. As you can see, the input is quite simple. We only add the username and that we want to scrape 3 posts, and on the left side you can see that the username is Serdar Bisi, which is my personal profile, which we have just tested together. And on the right side, you can see the output where we can see the bio, the full name, even the profile picture, the follower amount, and the posts that we wanted to scrape. So we can see the captions of the last 3 Instagram posts that I published. Just follow along for now. I just want you to understand how the whole flow works, and later on I'm going to explain you exactly all the things that you need to adjust after importing your template to make it work for yourself. You can completely ignore this note down here. This is just a fallback when Data Prism for whatever reason has an issue, then it's going to use another scraper to still get the job done, but you can ignore this for now. In the next step, we are pre-filtering low quality leads. And in my case, it's quite simple. I want to pre-filter everyone who has less than 100 followers or less than 3 posts, because as I'm targeting coaches, consultants, and high-ticket service-based businesses on Instagram for my AI sales system, people that have less than 100 followers or less than 3 posts automatically disqualify for anything, I would say. And that's why I do not want to waste AI tokens or anything else on these people. And that's why we're using the simple pre-filter node over here. You can set this up as you want. If you do not want to message people below 500 followers, you can simply change this number here. And if you do not want to send any message to people with less than 10 posts for whatever reason, you can simply change this number to 10. However, for me, this works really well. And the green line here shows us which exact path N8N went through when we have just sent the example message follow test together. In the next node, we have an if condition. This if node is simply checking if there is an @ symbol inside of the bio that we have just scraped. Because if there is an @ symbol inside of the bio that we have just scraped, which is the case on my account where it says founder @ OmniFusionAI. This means that this might be a personal profile. However, this might be the founder of a bigger Instagram business profile, and we also want to have all the information about their business and not just about the person. So this node is simply finding out if there is an @ symbol inside of the bio. And if there is no @ symbol inside of the bio, it's going to skip this whole thing and just continue to the AI ICP check. However, if it finds a tagged Instagram account inside of the bio, it's going to continue with a simple AI node using GPT-4o Mini, which is literally free. And the only goal of this AI node is to analyze the Instagram bio and extract any business account handle inside of it. And this is very important because I do not want someone who has a cat account or an Instagram account for their dog and says dad of @babycat. I do not want to scrape a cat account. So we give the instructions to the AI that this has to be the business account of that person for it to continue the flow. As you can see, the prompt literally makes very clear what examples are allowed and what is not allowed. For example, dad of @ mom of fan of followed by. All of this doesn't matter for us. I only want to scrape business accounts. And this is exactly what it's doing here. And as you can see, on the left side is the input, and the input is my bio. And on the right side, you can see the output, and the output is the Instagram handle of our business, OmniFusion.ai. So everything worked perfectly fine until here. And if there's multiple handles inside of the Instagram bio, it's going to show all handles here separated by comma. And this is very important, and I can show you an example for that in a second as well. And now we continue with another if node, finding out if the AI actually found another business handle inside of the bio or not. And as you can see here, it continued with the true branch, so it found a business handle inside of my bio. From there, we continue to a code node, which is called parse handles. You do not really need to understand the content of this code node, and to be honest, I also do not understand this code inside of here. I just know what it does. And what it does is, if there's multiple Instagram handles inside of the bio, it's going to split it out into single Instagram handles, so we can now scrape them in the next step over and over again. As said, you do not need to understand what this really does. If you copy my template, it will just work for you. Continuing from here, this code node will automatically send all the Instagram handles one by one to the Data Prism scraper. And again, I have a fallback here that you can completely ignore. The Data Prism scraper is going to do the exact same thing now, and now it's going to scrape my business account, which it got from the bio from my personal account. And on the right side, you can see the output of our OmniFusionAI business account, where I have all of the business information, and it successfully shows that we have nearly 54,000 followers on Instagram. Now, if you think from an ICP perspective, this lead now became much more interesting than my personal profile with just 2,000 followers and no business content. Now, things changed, and we can now see that this person, me, is the founder of OmniFusionAI, which indeed is a perfect ICP match for our business. After scraping all of the additional Instagram handles from the bio, it's going to continue with another code node, which merges the scrape results together. So now we have scraped my personal profile, Serdar.Bisi, and the business profile OmniFusion.ai. And now we want to merge that content together to give the AI ICP check the full context about me and my business. And this is exactly what this code node here is doing. Again, I have no idea what this is doing in detail. I just know what the result is. And to be honest, I have used Claude to create that code for me, and it worked right from the get-go. I decided to not use the help of any developer inside of our company because I really wanted to show that you do not need to be able to code to make something like this happen. What happens here in simple terms is that it's going to combine all of the scraping results we did so far into one single output, so the AI can use it to find out if it's an ICP match or not. The next node in line is our OpenAI node, which is called AI ICP check. And you will get my full prompt and everything you see on screen inside of the template. So don't worry, do not try to make screenshots. You will get everything for free with the link in the description. Everything is in that document. And as you can see, I have a really detailed prompt because my qualification is quite strict. You will get this full prompt, but you can adjust it to whatever you like, whatever your ICP is, whatever your business is, and however strict you want it to be. And down here in the second prompt, I give it all of the information that is necessary, and we can exactly see what the AI is receiving to actually give us the best possible output. On the right side, you can see all the information about my personal account as well about my business account. And if there's multiple business accounts, it's going to show each individual business account in this output here, so the AI can actually work with it. And for this node, we are using GPT 5.1. You can use whatever you want, but GPT 5.1 is extremely capable and makes very little mistakes with these kinds of instructions. And I don't really care about the cost because it's not like it's executing a million times a day. And on the right side, we can see the actual output. We can see all the things that we want to see. It's first name, and that is a real first name. ManyChat sometimes gets the first name wrong. AI doesn't. So I'm asking AI to also extract the first name, the occupation, the gender if it finds it, the personalization, the topics about the content that I'm posting, the business details, which are very important, and obviously we want to know if it's an ICP check or not. And on top of it, I also want AI to explain why this is an ICP check. So let's see why I am actually matching my own ICP check. He's a founder using Instagram to sell AI-powered systems to high-ticket online service businesses with strong follower traction across accounts. Correct. So it correctly qualified me as an ICP match, and then we continue from here. After that, we have an if node that checks if someone is an ICP match or not. And as you can see, the no ICP is not connected to anything inside of my flow. You can do whatever you want with leads that are not an ICP match. However, I just decide to do nothing with them because I don't really need to message them. If the ICP check is positive, which is a simple check, if the output from the AI contains yes, and on the left side we can see that that's the case, then it's going to be an ICP match. If the ICP is matched, then we continue with an entropic node. Again, you can use OpenAI if you want. I just believe that entropic is better with creativity and writing text. That's why I'm using Claude 4.5 Sonnet for this. And in this node, we actually generate the outreach message. And the script for this is again very specific and explains exactly what I want the message to be like. And the AI's only task is to create a personalized outreach message with all the input we give it from the scrapes and from the ICP check that has happened in this workflow previously. The AI is getting the first name, the occupation, business details, topics, personalization nodes, and the follower amount to actually create an outreach message for me. And as we can see, the output from this entropic node is, hey Serdar, saw you're building an AI sales system for high-ticket service businesses. What's the main challenge you're solving for clients right now? Lead gen or actually closing them? And I already see one little mistake that needs to be changed inside of the prompt, and that is an M dash. Please, no matter what you do with AI, always prevent using M dashes because that's the easiest way to spot that this is AI. Nobody really uses an M dash in real life. The only person in this world that is using M dashes is ChatGPT, Anthropic, and every other AI model. I still don't know why they do it. However, we want to prevent M dashes from being sent anywhere. So what I would do now after this video is simply go inside the editor, go inside of the prompt and tell it to never use M dashes. Previously, when AI wasn't that smart, we used code nodes to remove M dashes from text messages because AI was just too stupid to not use them inside of text. It's that crazy. It's actually a meme inside of the AI space. So whenever you see M dashes, please make sure to remove them. However, otherwise the message is absolutely perfect, and we continue the nodes from here and we are nearly done. After this AI outreach message node, we are having another code node that builds the ManyChat payload, because now we need to get all of the output and all of the details into structure to send it back to ManyChat. Why? Because I want to save a whole bunch of information inside of ManyChat. I want to save the first name that AI has found out because we will use it in the future. I want to save the lead details inside of ManyChat because anyone who works inside of ManyChat, if you have appointment setters or closers, they can immediately see everything about this person and their business if it's synced back to ManyChat. We also want to sync an ICP match tag to ManyChat, and we want to sync back the AI outreach message to ManyChat. And all these fields will be populated inside of this build ManyChat payload code. Again, this node was created with Claude, and I do not know all the details about the code that's inside of here. The only thing I know is that it works, because the output on the right side is as follows. It gives us the subscriber ID, which we need to call the ManyChat API. Then it gives us the different fields that we want to update. It's AI first name, we update that with Serdar. It's lead details, which we update with all the details we have gotten from the ICP check. And it's the outreach message that we want to update with the outreach message that we have just created. After this code node has run, we are simply sending 2 API requests to ManyChat, one to update the custom fields with all the information just explained, and one to add the tag ICP check to ManyChat. And that's basically it. It's just this one workflow inside of N8N and that one workflow inside of ManyChat that I have just shown you. And both of these workflows will be available for you in the document that I have linked in the description. And now let's get back to the document and I'll explain you very quickly what you need to do to get this to work. So first and foremost, what do we need? We will need a ManyChat account, we will need an N8N account, we will need a DM tracker account, and we will need a Data Prism API account. As said, if you have alternative tools for any of this, you can use them. I don't really care. However, I do not know if there is any better alternative to ManyChat, to N8N really. To the M tracker, I don't know any alternative, and the Data Prism API is simply the cheapest and fastest solution we have found. If you have alternatives, put them in the comments and I'm happy to check them out. However, these are the tools that we are using and they're all free to start. Specifically Data Prism API, I think I wrote it here. Usually you get 500 credits for free, which gives you 500 scraped Instagram accounts for totally free after signing up. No credit card required. And we have made a deal with them, so you get 1000 free credits, which should be enough to test out and see if this works for you or not. All of the other tools have free trials, like ManyChat, the M tracker, and N8N all have free trials. And in the first step, we need to sign up to all these tools if we do not have the accounts already. Short disclaimer, some of the links mentioned in this document are affiliate links that give us some kickback if you sign up to those platforms. However, the price stays the same for you, and for us it makes it a bit easier to justify sharing all of this value and knowledge for free on YouTube. So if you want to support us, click the links in the document. And if you do not want to support us, that's also totally fine. Simply type in the URLs into the domain and sign up from there, no problem. Simply click on ManyChat, create an account. So you log in with Facebook or Google, create an account, and then from there connect your Instagram account, which is really straightforward. Then you sign up to the M tracker, which is extremely simple as well, and connect your ManyChat account. Simply follow the onboarding guide. Takes less than 5 minutes. Then you sign up to N8N for the free trial and create your N8N account. And last but not least, you sign up to Data Prism, and I have linked everything inside of this document. Simply go ahead and create your accounts if you do not have one already. I've already given you the explanation, but here's a quick overview. ManyChat connects to Instagram and triggers when you get a new follower. Then it sends a webhook to N8N. N8N uses Data Prism to scrape the Instagram account info and then uses AI to check for an ICP match and creates a personalized outreach message for each lead. N8N sends back the outreach message to ManyChat, which then sends the message to the Instagram lead. The M tracker automatically tracks outreach reason, message, and reply rates to improve the whole system overall and to show you how well it's working for you. It also gives you the ability to A/B test different prompts and see if you send different messages, if your reply rate goes up or down. And once you are on this document, you will see the ManyChat automation template here and the N8N automation template here. You can simply import both of this into ManyChat and N8N, and then you will have to adjust a couple small things, and I'll show you exactly what now. Before we show you, here is what you need to do in general. You need to set up all accounts as explained above. It really doesn't take much time, and most of these tools are necessary for other automations as well. You import the ManyChat automation from here into ManyChat. You import the N8N automation from here into N8N. And then you have to add your own API keys and your own webhook URL and make sure the bot fields on ManyChat are correct. And I'll show you what this means now. Once you have imported the ManyChat flow, the only thing you need to adjust is your URL webhook from here. So as you can see, this ManyChat node sends an external request to our webhook. However, if you copy this flow, you want to send the external request to your N8N webhook. And to get that webhook URL, you simply go into N8N, go to the editor, open this first node inside of the workflow, and simply go to production URL and copy this URL. You're going to copy this, go back to ManyChat, and you're going to paste it in here where I currently have my URL webhook. That's it. After that, you're gonna save it. And if you want to leave everything as is, and if you do not want to adjust anything, then that's everything you need to do on the ManyChat side. The only thing that's important to know and to take care of is inside of the DM tracker node, you have to be careful that your bot fields are correct. So we go into the DM tracker node, then we open this. The URL here will be the same for you as well, because the authentication here happens with the authentication token. This will be yours because the variable is saved while you do the onboarding with the M-Tracker. This variable will automatically be saved for you inside of ManyChat. The only thing you need to make sure is if you import my ManyChat automation after signing up to the M-Tracker, then it's going to import the field, the M-Tracker authentication token again. And if that happens, it will show the M-Tracker authentication token and the timestamp after it. If you see that timestamp, simply delete this whole field and go to variables and search for authentication, the M-Tracker authentication token without the timestamp. So probably you will have one without the timestamp and one with the timestamp. Simply go ahead and choose the one without the timestamp. So that will make sure that everything runs smoothly. You have to do the same thing inside of the body where you can see organization ID. That's your organization ID, which is another bot field that the M-Tracker is going to create in ManyChat. Simply go ahead and do the same thing. If you see a timestamp here, simply remove the variable and add the variable without the timestamp. That's all you have to do. One more thing to mention is I do not want to follow up with my leads if they do not reply back to me at this current point, so I have set this to false. If you want automated follow-up notifications inside of the M-Tracker for your outreach messages, simply go ahead and change this to true, and then the follow-up mechanism will work for you as expected. For me, I do not want to do follow-ups for outreach messages, so I can simply save this. And that's the only things you have to adjust. Only the DM tracker node and the URL webhook node for N8N. After importing this whole automation, you will also see that you do not have the trigger user follows your account. And I will show you exactly how to set that up right now. We simply go in ManyChat to settings, to Instagram, and then to say hi to new followers. And here, if you do not have anything set yet, you simply go ahead and choose the workflow that we have just imported, and this will automatically add this trigger user follows your account inside of your workflow. I also have the trigger user sends a message follow test. If you remember correctly, this is to test the whole workflow. I would advise just keep it as is so you can test it as well. And that's everything you have to do inside of ManyChat, and it should work without problems. Going back to N8N, there's a couple things we need to adjust here as well, because my workflow uses my API keys, and you have to update the API keys for yourself. You have to update your Data Prism API key, and to do that, we simply open the node. It will ask you for the authentication. You're simply gonna select generic credential type. Then it's gonna ask the authentication type, where you will choose header authentication from the drop down. And then if this is your first time, it's gonna ask you to create credentials, which you can simply do here. Then you will need to paste the name, which is X minus API minus key, and your API key from Data Prism. To get the API key from Data Prism, we simply go to the dashboard inside of Data Prism, click on API keys at the top, and click on Create New API Key. We'll create a name for this API key. I'll just call it demo here. And then you're gonna copy this API key, go back to N8N, paste the API key in here and save it. You only have to do this once, and then this credential will be saved inside of your n8n safely, and in every Data Prism node, you can simply choose this credential to be used. Then you also have to change the API key for OpenAI or Anthropic, whatever AI you want to use. If you want to use the same system that I have here, you will need to add an OpenAI API key in here, where you can simply choose the credentials you want to add, and it's a similar workflow. You simply open your credential settings, add your API key here, click on save, and that's it. You do the exact same thing for Anthropic node. If you don't have an Anthropic API key, simply go ahead and use OpenAI. It's really similar. However, we are nerds when it comes to this, so we want the perfect messages, and I just think Anthropic is a tiny bit better than OpenAI. However, to make this simple, you can simply switch this out with an OpenAI node and use the same API key that you have used here and here and here. So you will use the same API key in all AI nodes. Then it's very important to open this second OpenAI node, which is the AI ICP check. And here I want you to optimize or adjust the prompt based on your business, because now it's checking the ICP based on my business. What you can do is simply copy this whole prompt, send it to ChatGPT and say, hey, please adjust this prompt to my business, and then tell it all your business details and all your qualification criteria, and it's going to create you a new prompt. Come back here, paste that new prompt, and it should work for you 99% of the time. If it's not perfect, go back, adjust what you don't like, or put it in yourself in simple text and simple language, and then come back here, input it here, and let it work for you. You do not need to adjust anything in the second prompt. The only thing you need to adjust is the first prompt, where you give it context on what your business is like and what your qualification criteria is. Here you can also tell it how strict it should be or how loose you want it to be. The next thing we're going to change is the AI outreach message node, no matter if it's OpenAI or Anthropic. You do not need to adjust this first prompt if you use the Anthropic node. The only thing you need to adjust is the system message. And once again, this is how I want my outreach messages written, and you have to adjust this to however you want your outreach message to be written. It can be as personalized as you want, and you can put anything you want it to do inside of this prompt. And the last thing we need to do is to add our ManyChat API keys into these two nodes. And again, how this works is exactly the same as before with Data Prism. You simply choose generic credential type. In this case, you use Bearer authentication instead of header authentication. And then you're gonna just add your API key into the bearer token field. And I'm going to show you how you can get your API key inside of ManyChat. We simply go to settings, we go down to API, then we go to get API key. You simply click in here and copy this whole field, go back to n8n, paste it here, save the credentials, and you're good to go. Once saved in one of the nodes, you can simply go ahead into the next ManyChat node and choose it from a drop-down. As you can see here, I have saved mine as ManyChat SATA scales, and you will see your authentication API here, and you can simply choose it, and that's it. And trust me, this all sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Just rewatch the video, do it step by step, and I promise you can do this. I mean, if I can do it, you can do it as well. And if you have any questions about any of this, put it in the comments. I'm responding to every single one of them. Don't worry. The last thing I want you to change is the add ICP tag node. If you want to add a tag, if you do not want to do that, simply delete this node. But if you want to add a tag that someone is an ICP match to ManyChat, simply open this node, scroll down, and as you can see here, there is a tag ID, because adding tags inside of ManyChat using the API doesn't work by using the tag name. You need to have a tag ID. And for that, we simply go to ManyChat, we simply go to settings again, then we go to tags. Then I have everything in a folder. You don't need to do that. I open the folder, and as you can see, these are all the tags that we are using. If you do not have that tag yet, just go ahead and create the ICP match tag. And once you hover over that tag, you can see the tag ID. Simply go ahead and copy that tag ID from here, go back to n8n and replace this tag ID that I use with your tag ID, so the ManyChat API knows which tag you want to add. And that's the last thing you have to do. After that, you can simply save the workflow and run a test. And we are going to test this right now again inside of the flow. I'll simply click on play over here, and as you can see, the nodes are going to run through. I want to show you one more example, and for that we need to go back to ManyChat. This is going to be one of the most complex examples, and I'm always using this to see if the workflow is stable enough or not. Because my co-founder Emil, he also has two accounts. He has a private account and he has a business account. And this is his private account, Emil Fashang. And one specialty that he has is that he has all three businesses that we have inside of his Instagram bio. So we are running Auto IGDM, we are running DM Tracker, and we are running OmniFusionAI. And he has all of them mentioned in his bio. So this is a stress test for the whole system because it needs to scrape 4 Instagram accounts to just get the ICP check done. And we're gonna test this out right now by just adding a simple tag. The manual outreach trigger tag is something I created to test the workflow again. And if you copy my workflow, you will have the same testing workflow tag added as well. So we simply go ahead and create manual outreach trigger, which is now going to automatically trigger the workflow I have shown you before. As you can see here, there is a third trigger, which means tag applied manual outreach trigger, which is exactly what we have just done. Going back to N8N, we can see that this has executed just a couple seconds ago. And let's go inside and see what actually happened. As you can see, the Data Prism scraper has scraped his Instagram account. However, inside of his bio is founder at OmniFusionAI, at Auto IGDM, and at DM Tracker. So this is a stress test for this whole workflow. And as we can see, it contains an ad. OpenAI extracted the business handles. Let me show you how that looks like. It extracted all 3 business handles. It's OmniFusionAI, Auto IGDM, and DM Tracker. And now this node comes into play because this is now going to pass each individual handle one after the other to the scraper, and it's going to run once for all items. So it's going to run for OmniFusionAI, going to scrape, it's going to run for Auto IGDM, going to scrape, and it's going to run for the DM Tracker and going to scrape that as well. And as we can see here, it has done it with all 3 items, and the scraper also ran 3 times. And this is why this merge scrape results is so important, because now it collected 4 Instagram profiles and combines everything together so the AI can work with it. Continuing with the next node, the AI ICP check, let's see what it actually said about Emil and all of his businesses. Let's see if he's an ICP check or not. And as we can see here, he is an ICP check, and the reason is he's the founder of a scalable AI sales system business with 20K personal followers and 50K plus on the main brand account. He's clearly using Instagram with CTAs to acquire clients. So this is my perfect target avatar. So I'm very happy that the AI got that in here. And then we can also see that the AI outreach message was generated saying, "Hey Emil, saw you're running OmniFusion and helping service businesses scale with AI sales systems. What's the main challenge you're seeing people hit when they try to automate Instagram outreach? And now you tell me, what's the biggest issue that you are seeing when trying to automate Instagram messages?" As said, perfect execution. Everything worked super smooth. It continued with the code node, saved back the details to ManyChat, added the ICP tag, and everything worked wonderfully, fully on autopilot and 100% automated. Now we're back at the document, and that's it. Now you're sending AI personalized outreach messages to all new followers of your target audience on autopilot. I hope you really like this workflow because I find it amazing. You can simply test it out. If you have any information about your business on your Instagram profile, go to Instagram and follow my business account, Serdar Scales, and find out if you match my ICP or not. If you match my ICP, you will get a personalized outreach message from me. And if you want to get experimental, send me the message image test in a single word and see what happens. That's it. I hope you liked the system. I hope you learned something new. If you did, please do me a favor, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's 100% free and it really helps us out a lot. And if you want me and my team to implement the full AI sales system into your business, 100% done for you, including this little feature, then simply reach out to me at OmniFusion.ai. Let's jump into a quick call and see if we're a fit. Either way, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.